In our only video of today's lesson, you will be introduced to more katakana characters needed to identify common classroom objects, and another kanji. After this set of notes, you will be able to read and write 4 more katakana characters and their related syllables. You will also be able to read and write 1 more kanji character. You guessed it, there's more vocabulary words today. Our first character today is ku. It only has 2 strokes. They happen to be the first 2 strokes of ta. Do you remember that character? Let's try this character together. Stroke 1 goes down to the left and tails. Stroke 2 goes off to the right, then down to the left and tails. Ku. Perhaps you can remember this by thinking of a cocoon. I wonder what sort of beautiful butterfly will emerge from this cocoon. No is the simplest of the katakana characters. It is a single stroke. It starts at the upper right and tails down gently to the left. So let's do this together really quickly. Stroke 1, no, done. I like to remember this one by thinking of an old-fashioned note pen. Our next character will be yu. Yu is only 2 quick strokes. The first stroke is like the first stroke of yo. It goes across the top and down. And then the second stroke is the stroke across the bottom. That should be easy enough. Let's try this together. Stroke 1 goes across and down, kind of like the fu stroke. And stroke 2 goes across the bottom, yu. For me, the easy way to remember this is that yu represents 1 unit. Ri should look familiar, as it looks very much like its hiragana counterpart. The stroke order is also the same. The first stroke is on the left and it stops, and the final stroke is the stroke that goes down the right and curves slightly to the left as it comes to a tail. So let's try these 2 strokes together. Stroke 1 and stroke 2, the final stroke, and we have ri. You can easily remember this by thinking of reeds in a river. That's all the katakana characters for today. However, ku is from the kagyo. Its pronunciation can be altered by the dakuten. Just like its hiragana counterpart, adding the dakuten to ku gives you gu. As ri is from the iro, it can be combined with yo to create palatal syllables. Also, we now know yu, which is from the yagyo. It can also be combined with the characters from the iro for more palatal syllables. Let's look at a couple of them now. We can combine gi with a small u. Remember, the lines will help with the placement and size of the u. We end up with gyu. We can combine ri with a small u using the lines to help with the placement, and we get ryu. We're only covering 2 of the syllables now, but you'll be able to practice the others on your practice sheet. Here is the full katakana table, and here are the characters we've learned so far. With the addition of the characters we learned today, we are up to 30. I know I said we'd be learning katakana at a much slower rate, and we'll slow down now, I promise. For now, let's look at our table with the diacritical markings. The pronunciation of ku can be altered using diacritical markings. That gives us 1 more syllable on this table and brings us to 16. We also learned characters in the yagyo and from the iro, so we'll need to look at the palatal syllables table now. With the introduction of ri and yu, the palatal symbols we can create more than doubled. We still don't have many right now, but after we learn ya, look out. Also remember to fill in the spaces in the horizontal table. The more practice, the easier it will be to get the characters from the yagyo properly proportioned. Now is when I usually tell you to enjoy, or that I'll see you in class. But not today. Today I have a special surprise. Kanji! Just 1 character, so don't worry too much. Does this character look familiar? That would be because the katakana ho is actually derived from this character, which is pronounced hon. Hon is 5 strokes. We begin, you guessed it, horizontally. And the second stroke is the vertical stroke. Now, just like the katakana ho, strokes 3 and 4 slant away from each other. But notice that they are connected at the intersection of strokes 1 and 2. The final and fifth stroke is the lower horizontal stroke. Let's try this with the Super Animatron 7000. Stroke 1 goes across, stroke 2 goes down, strokes 3 and 4 slant away from each other, and stroke 5 marks the spot. This kanji has two pronunciations, hon and moto. Let's start talking about how to read kanji. Most kanji have at least two ways to pronounce them. One is called an on reading. On readings are pronunciations borrowed from China when the characters themselves were borrowed. The kun readings are the pronunciations that are from the original very old Japanese language before contact with other countries. On readings are written in katakana when introducing the characters, and kun readings are written in hiragana. You'll learn when to use each reading as you learn new vocabulary words, just like the vowels in the English language. As for meanings, all kanji have meanings. Most only have one, and when they have more than one, they are usually very closely related. How are origin and book related? Let me tell you the origin story of the character, and it might make sense. Just like a seed planted in the ground is the origin of a tree, a book can plant seeds in your mind that become the origin of knowledge. How's that? We're going to be introduced to a few new kanji characters each unit. Just like the kana characters, it's important to practice reading and writing them. You can now read and write 12 kanji characters. Do you remember the other 11? We'll see you in class.